My DeLorean arrives at Chavez Ravine on October 28, 2018. Just in time to find you, a diehard Red Sox fan, watch Chris Sale make Manny Machado look absolutely stupid on a slider.
Wow!
That strikeout secures a World Series victory for your beloved Bo Sox, the fourth you've gotten to celebrate with them in the past 15 years. And you're ecstatic, because everything was great in Boston. The team had won a league-best 108 games in the regular season, lost only 3 times throughout their playoff run, and had one of the most promising young cores in baseball. Yes, this 9th World Series championship wouldn't have been won without massive contributions from veterans like JD Martinez, Mitch Moreland, Nathan Eovaldi, David Price, Chris Sale, Rick Porcello, and of course surprise World Series MVP Steve Pearce. But this team had 3 young studs in particular, all aged 25 or under, that made you and the rest of the Fenway faithful rightfully believe that the best was still yet to come. These 3 young stars were MVP right fielder Mookie Betts, all-star shortstop Xander Bogaerts, and 21-year-old third baseman Rafael Devers, with an honorable mention to a 23-year-old Andrew Benintendi. Excited to see what comes of this promising future, you hop in my DeLorean with me and we set off for January 2026. We arrive at Fenway, and to your disbelief, you see no additional banners gracing the facade of the legendary structure. And even worse, you pull out your iPhone X and load the Red Sox roster page to find no mention of Betts, Bogaerts, or Devers.
That's impossible!
To help this unthinkable reality make sense to you, I'm going to break down how the Red Sox managed to waste 3 incredible assets, including the trade trees of what has come from those who were dealt, and I'll aim to identify whether the future is currently any brighter in Beantown. The first domino to fall was Mookie Betts. With 2 years of team control left after the 2018 championship season, Mookie was a force for the Sox yet again in 2019. He didn't quite match the .346, .438, .640, and 10.7 WAR that earned him the MVP award, but he was still one of the league's best, slashing .295, .391, .524, while scoring a career-high 135 runs and playing to a team-best 7.2 WAR. The Red Sox as a team disappointingly regressed by 24 wins, largely driven by a veteran pitching staff that fell off a cliff, and as a result, missed the playoffs quite handily. In September of 2019, just 10 months after winning their 9th championship, the team fired President Dave Dombrowski, and in February of 2020, under the leadership of President Shane Bloom and GM Brian O'Halloran, traded Mookie with 1 year remaining of team control to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3 prospects, including the Dodgers' top prospect at the time, Alex Verdugo. We'll explore how that deal looks 6 MLB seasons later shortly, but in the meantime, we'll move on to the next departure. The main silver lining sold to the Red Sox faithful, aside from the promising addition of Verdugo, was that the team still had its 2 other stars, and one of them, Xander Bogaerts, the team had shown its commitment to by signing him to a 6-year, $132 million contract extension in April of 2019. Xander made that deal immediately pay dividends, playing to a 6.3 WAR and slashing .309, .384, .555 with 33 home runs in 2019, a performance that, despite the team's decline, did make the pill of losing their MVP after that campaign a bit more palatable. Over the next 3 seasons, Bogaerts would be a steady force for the Sox, including a 2021 campaign where his 5.2 WAR led the way for a 92-win team that would lose to the Astros in 6 games in the ALCS. It was after the 2022 campaign, another strong one for Xander, but a disappointing one for the team, that Bogaerts elected to opt out of the remaining years in his deal, and to wisely use the .307 average and 5.7 WAR he had just played to as the perfect foundation for a new and more lucrative deal. In free agency, Xander elected to leave Beantown for the West Coast, signing a massive 11-year, $280 million deal with the San Diego Padres. And in return, the Red Sox received a 4th-round compensatory pick in the 2023 draft, a slot that was worsened by the team's luxury tax status, but again, we'll get into that shortly. With Mookie and Xander gone, only Rafael Devers remained as the last young stud from their 2018 championship squad, and the team once again used his presence as a primary silver lining to maintain excitement amongst fans. On January 11, 2023, less than 5 weeks after Bogaerts signed with the Padres, the Red Sox and Devers agreed on a 10-year, $313.5 million contract extension that would keep Raffy at Fenway through the 2033 season. Over the next 2 years, Devers would continue to be an offensive force, slugging over .500 in both campaigns, but leaving plenty to be desired on defense, being among the league's worst in fielding percentage at the hot corner. The Red Sox as a whole were a defensive mess over those 2 campaigns, including finishing with the 2nd most errors and tied for the 2nd worst fielding percentage in the league in 2024. Wanting to correct this glaring weakness and add more balance to their lineup, the Red Sox signed slick fielding and power-hitting third baseman Alex Bregman to a 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs on February 15th. At the time of the signing, most assumed that Bregman would be making the switch to second base, but as the season drew closer, it became clear by the day that the Red Sox always envisioned Alex at third, with Rafi being relegated to the one position where his offensive talents alone would be utilized, designated hitter. Devers did not take kindly to this decision, eventually accepting it reluctantly, but the relationship between the two sides quickly and very publicly deteriorated. It went to another level in early May when first baseman Tristan Casas landed on the DL, and Devers declined to take over at the position. On June 15th, the Red Sox traded Rafi to the San Francisco Giants for a package we'll delve into momentarily. As you walk down Jersey Street doing an unintentional George Michael impression in disbelief of what has happened to your favorite players, I catch up with you to show you the fruits of these departures. In the case of Mookie Betts, the Red Sox received prospects Alex Verdugo, Connor Wong, and Jeter Downs. Of the 3, Verdugo would contribute the most to the Red Sox, playing to a combined WAR of 8.1 over 4 seasons, but never amassing to as much as his prospect ranking once suggested. In December of 2023, the Red Sox shipped Alex to their division rival Yankees for 3 right-handed arms: Richard Fitts, who would pitch in 15 games for the Sox between 2024 and 2025, pitching to a 3.97 ERA before being dealt to the Cardinals this offseason as one of 2 pieces to acquire veteran starter Sonny Gray; Greg Weissert, a serviceable MLB-level reliever with team control; and Nicholas Judas, a low-level prospect that has battled injuries and effectiveness since joining the organization. In Connor Wong, the Red Sox received a catcher that was given ample playing time in both 2023 and 2024 to prove himself, but failed to wow on both sides, and in 2025 found himself relegated to a backup role with some versatility in position, where he is likely to stay moving forward. As for Jeter Downs, the kid would only appear in 14 games for the Red Sox in 2022, before being DFA'd in December and claimed by the Nationals. He would go on to only play in 6 more MLB games and now plays in the NPB. In the case of Xander Bogaerts, as I mentioned before, he was lost to free agency, but since the Red Sox did extend him a qualifying offer, they did receive a compensatory pick, one that should have been 70th overall in the 2023 draft, but since the Sox failed to get under the luxury tax threshold in a failed 2022 campaign, the pick was downgraded to 133rd overall. But Boston made the most of it, selecting Christian Campbell, who won both Hitting Prospect of the Year and Minor League Baseball Breakout Player of the Year honors in 2024. Christian struggled in his 2025 rookie campaign, but most expect him to bounce back and be the cornerstone piece that the Red Sox have since invested heavily in. Before I get to the return that the Red Sox got for Rafi, I do want to quickly remind you to be sure to do me a favor and subscribe to help me to be able to continue to deliver more MLB content like this to you for free via YouTube. Thanks. But in return for Rafael Devers, the Red Sox received Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs III, and Jose Bayo. Hicks is the veteran flame-throwing reliever turned starter turned reliever again that struggled mightily in 2025, pitching to a combined ERA of 6.95 over 67 1/3 innings of work. He's under contract through to the end of the 2027 campaign, so the Red Sox hope to unlock some of his earlier success over the next 2 seasons. Kyle Harrison was one of the best prospects in the Giants farm system for years, but has struggled to translate that into big impact MLB level success since 2023. He, like Hicks, has experience working both in the rotation and out of the pen, and figures to get more of a chance in the latter in 2026 after the team's recent acquisition of Ranger Suarez. James Tibbs III was taken by the Giants in the first round, 13th overall in the 2024 draft. His time with the Red Sox was incredibly short-lived, as he was shipped to the Dodgers at the deadline for starter Dustin May, who made 6 appearances for the Red Sox down the stretch in 2025, pitching to a 5.4 ERA before signing with the Cardinals this offseason. And Jose Bayo is currently one of those infamous prospects that's 2 years away from being 2 years away. But the 20-year-old as of now shows some promise to one day be an MLB-level swing reliever. So what do the current Boston Red Sox have to show in return for their 3 former All-Stars? Starter Sonny Gray, as a distant byproduct of the Betts deal, backup catcher Connor Wong, relievers Greg Weissert, Jordan Hicks, and Kyle Harrison, long shot prospects in Judas and Bayo, and of course young hopeful star Christian Campbell via the most unlikely route of a 133rd overall pick, given that Gray could have very likely been acquired by dealing another expendable arm like Fitz, and that Campbell developing into what he was as a 4th round pick are the 2 most notable chips.
That's not good enough!
As difficult as prospects can be to project in baseball, the Red Sox turning Betts, Bogaerts, and Devers into just that is, in my opinion, pathetic, especially when you add in the kicker that Bregman, too, is no longer in the picture after opting out and signing with the Cubs.
Now I'm depressed.
But there is a saving grace. As poorly as the Red Sox have fumbled the departure of these studs, they have done other things seemingly very right to help mask it.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
On the mound, they have acquired and have one of the best pitchers in the game locked up atop their staff. And they just added another stud via free agency. And offensively, in addition to Campbell, they've drafted and signed a slew of now 20-somethings, all poised to prove themselves as the next Betts, Bogaerts, and Devers. Their Achilles heel, however, is still their defense. The Red Sox ranked dead last, yes, worse than even the Rockies, in both errors and fielding percentage in 2025, and will seemingly need better performances from largely the same group of guys to not let that side of the game drag them down yet again. It didn't stop them from claiming a wildcard spot in 2025, but in an even tougher AL East, it'll need to be better to not hold them back in 2026. So in my opinion, is the future still bright in Boston? Absolutely, but it's not at all a byproduct of how they moved on from their past stars. And for that, the various decision makers should always be blamed. What's your take on the Boston Red Sox? Do you like the direction of the team going into 2026? And which of their young stars do you have the most confidence in developing into a Betts or Bogaerts type? Let me know via the comments, and be sure to subscribe for plenty more baseball content.